started differently. I want to start with like. In general, over the top of like the feedback doesn't have to be extreme. It's just like it's gonna be a backing without being a riff, you know. The song's backing without it being a riff.
We brought the van down on the first day to load in, and then it got stuck there where them tyre marks are. But we thought, oh well, maybe if we go down there and come up here a different route, we might be able to get it out. But we did that, and then it got stuck there. Then we got it out, and it got stuck here, and then we had to get a tow truck. And the first tow truck turned up, and then the tow truck got stuck, and it couldn't pull our van out. So we had to get an even bigger tow truck. So from going from this van, we had this like massive truck trying to pull a tow truck and our van out, and it was just like, it was like something you'd see on like, I don't know, Chuckle Brothers or Keenan and Kel or something like that. Yeah, this is where we practice. We're in Oregon City, in the middle of nowhere where we've never been before, and pretty cool. Apart from it's really dingy in there, and it's quite depressing when you're in there.
I'm cutting Rye's. I patented Rye's haircut.
It looks like a medical procedure though.
Head back.
The Gaz always cuts my hair. I don't know why. I don't know when he started or why he started.
I mean, the first few times it was really stressful. The argument would be like, well, I can't cut hair. So he'd be like, well, it doesn't really matter. Just do it. So I didn't really have any get-out clause, but I also knew in the back of my mind that he'd be really angry if I messed it up. We've written a bunch of songs and demoed a lot back in Manchester. And then before we go in the studio, we're going to do some live dates next month so we can
just road test
the song before we get them in the studio, which we're going to start in the studio in March.
We've got like a lot of ideas, we're just kind of whittling them down now.
Set your watch by it.
There's a sound that I've got which is like a kind of queasy, it's like a kind of queasy sort of sick sound. So that this, to kind of complement this part, I've got this. That sweep for me is dependent on the tempo of the track that we're working on, but also the effects of that kind of seasicky, kind of queasy one.
So I've just got some ideas for one particular song right now, so I'm just jotting them down. Sometimes if you just like do it stream of consciousness and just shout anything that fits or sing anything that fits within the syllables, it happens to be really succinct and exactly what you wanted to say. And like, I mean, obviously you don't get it all like that, but I'll write down like the ones that I remember, and then it's quite easy to just fill in the blanks with other things that relate to it, and you know, comment it. And I mean, maybe rhyme. I don't think they have to rhyme.
And then on top of that, I'm going to put an echo. If you want to record that song, I think we should like identify the other parts. Maybe we should do that now and then see how they all fit together. Maybe let's just work on that then.
Okay, what am I playing the baritone on it?
Yes, sir.
I need to learn that bit then.
They don't have a name yet, we just started playing it the other day.
Have you got an Allen key?
It's not even a song yet, just an idea.
I like the tempo coming as well. It's like I think this is one of those rare things that we do a bit late. Let's decide early on that we do it twice.
So
instead
different
of
from what I
once.
thought it was going to be like.
Man.
This means everything to me. Hope someone will say that those innocent days were a life ago. Oh, you are far more likely to be
This is the studio where we're currently, staying at and, recording.
We're in the glamorous Valley Village, which is near Studio City off Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles.
It confuses me, does Los Angeles.
It's so unnatural for us, because we grew up in like Wakefield, and it's like worlds apart from LA. It's it's quite grim at times. It rains. You only get a little bit of summer every year.
I like the rain now. It's all to do with what memories you attach to seasons, isn't it?
This is the living room area with the TV in. We watch a lot of Bret Michaels' Rock of Love on that TV.
Just making my bed. I'm a very responsible young man. Really cute with a bill. A bill's just so much cuter than a beak, isn't it?
That's what the kids want, isn't it? With the album, they want ducks in high definition.
Perhaps make a bit of noise as well.
Yeah, they panic down.
Obviously. Goodbye, ducks. Well done, Ray. Well, I'd like everyone's fun with the ducks. There's a cat that's shaped like a lion. He's really friendly. He comes around to play all the time. It's nice. It's like being in the jungle.
without love, without hate, or without anyone who I even allowed to find out all the little things I've been thinking. It's too easy for folks to get by.
Basically recorded it all live in the studio, which isn't often the way these days.
You've got to record live, I mean, obviously you do stuff afterwards that's going to make it sound like better, but you've got to record everything live because we are a live band fundamentally, It was nice to just set up and have nice sounds and play and just not know exactly what was going to happen with the song, and then we got through to the end of it. It's like so many happy accidents going off, so many unexpected little things that people did, and it just all worked.
Nick's approach is just treat it as almost like a gig, you get it sounding really good so you're all having a good time, and then just roll the tape.
The drums, bass and main guitars are always done at one time together, and those instruments remain the core of the song, of the track, right to the very end, to the mixing. I mean, I get that right. That's, to me, what it's all about. It's all about capturing the energy that a band has when they play together. It's all about musicians feeding off each other.
With all the resources, all the studio time, all the equipment and all the expertise, you can't design that that kind of quality that happens when a band are playing in the studio together. It's like the difference between whitewater rafting and virtual whitewater rafting, really. You know, you have to feel everybody else is kind of like a change of balance on the boat, you know, and that determines where you go into a chorus and how loud you play, and it's that kind of split-second interaction that really is kind of like magic. It's as close to magic as I can think of when you put it down on paper.
You were saying I'm your knees are breaking walls already have destroyed like your love and all the pretty things that were with it. Spent all this time chasing happy, but happy is foreign to me. So put walls around our misery and gently emasculate me.
I'm not sure how Nick's name came about, but I'm really glad that it did, because he's my favourite producer of current producers around at the moment.
We talked to him on the phone, and it was really, he said the exact right things. He was just like, oh, I think you're a really good live band, and you've never really made a record that, you know, fully captures that.
I was really impressed by the sort of energy of them on stage and how the crowd reacted.
Just listening to some of his records, I just really like the way that his records sound. It's kind of what we were wanting, you know, like, as I was saying, like, you know, more reverbs and, like, you know, a little more atmosphere stuff, and that seems to be what I specialise in.
Really good quality production, but at the same time it's got a bit more character to it.
Nick's records sound fucking great, but they don't sound really slick and Hollywood high.
They wanted to work with me and make a very kind of raw sounding, honest record.
I like that he worked with Killing Joke and that he worked with the Slits. All that real old history that he's got from back in the day, you know, resonates with me, because that was when I was a teenager. That was when I started getting my thing going.
He's been doing it since he was 19. He worked with, like, you know, Pill.
There is definitely this kind of rawness to the way they play and the way they are live that really appealed to me.
He's just known as being really good at getting good live takes and making it and retaining that sort of energy and that's exactly what we wanted on this album.
It's just a case of just setting things up properly in the right way, in the right environment in the studio to capture that energy.
I remember coffee or a picture of it was years ago since you left us. I know it was years ago. Oh.
I want that guitar part to kind of sound like it's being generated, basically. Like it's not someone playing it. I'm up for overdubbing it as long as it doesn't make it sound any more human, you know what I mean?
This is the equipment we used on this album. We used an API desk, which sound brilliant, very clear, and they distort really well. And then we've got even older equipment. These are Neves. Most of this is quite vintage equipment, which sounds better than the new stuff. And by new stuff, I mean anything built in the 80s onwards. We've been using lots of old microphones. Lots of old stuff, really. New kids with old stuff sounds good.
These are all the tracks, this is all the information. On the board you've got all the information for each particular song.
Each song that we bring up has different guitars and different drums in different places. So rather than write it out every time, we just have it on tape, you see, and then you just stick the tape down and you know exactly where everything is.
It's an old school tried and tested method.
Years ago.
first got signed, like I bought this with the advance, so I'd never had a nice amp ever, and so I got this because I always wanted them as a kid. But it sounds really good. You know, it's done every single gig with us and every single album with us.
You're going to put a disclaimer, Spinal Tap disclaimer on it, aren't you? 62, 63 on the cusp Fender Jaguar. It's kind of my favourite, this one. Fender Bass 6, which is actually a baritone guitar. Ryan got really into writing on it. That's like I use that on the last Smiths album.
These are my snares. Just see which one works best for each song. Yeah, this is the only snare that's like done all three CRIBS records. This is like a vintage snare drum. The snare rim on this is really sharp and it makes you like chip your knuckles and stuff like that. I mean, look, that knuckles kind of out of shape and stuff like that. Apart from that, it's a good sacrifice. It sounds great. It's one of them things where wood just sounds different. You know, you can't really tell why. You could make two snares out of the exact same thing, and you never know. Like, you never know what it's going to sound like. They can sound good, but some just sound great.
I'm not normally that precious about guitars really, because you know, like a lot of our early guitars, like, you know, I'd get really nice guitars and they just get like destroyed like all the time. So, but this is the only one that I've ever been really precious about. It's an Epiphone Coronet. I've had it for years and years, and it's like it's just played on every single album so far. On the last album session, I was doing like a noise solo. And I drank like a lot of wine before, and I ended up snapping the headstock off, which is the second time it's had its headstock snapped off. But it sounds really great, always, like, and it plays great.
This is a 1984 Gibson Les Paul that I got to do the Meat Is Murder record, and I use that on We Share the Same Skies, and the one that no one knows the title of at the moment.
These drums are these are Highwood drums. They made these, and they're from Wakefield actually. They made the full drum kit, and they sound really good.
Fender Jaguar that is a little bit of a hybrid. I've had these pickups made as a copy from this one. I really am feeling like Nigel Tufnell here, by the way, Patrick. But that's the way it is.
Gibson 335, which I got that when we started playing live for the new album, for men's knees, women's knees, whatever, because I used one in the studio all the time that used to belong to Alex out of France, and it just sounded really good.
12-string Rickenbacker. A 1960 Les Paul Special. It's a mid-70s Martin. I don't like my acoustics to be too fancy. I like them to be just like kind of workhorses, really.
Just a Fender Jaguar, but it's been like modified, you know, so it's got like humbuckers in it and like different controls. That's the new one. Sounds kind of cool, I guess. That's the 50s one. Sounds really rounded. And that's my vintage one, which is my main one. And that's kind of aggressive sounding, I like it. Boring. Totally boring. You keep singing on, don't you?
What?
Did you sing on just then?
Yeah.
You don't sing on.
What?
You went,
No,
whoa.
No, I didn't
Don't
do that.
then.
I didn't do that.
Well, I heard it and I looked at you and your mouth
didn't
went
do
like
it.
that.
I didn't
Alright,
do it.
well, if you didn't do it,
I didn't do it, and he was. That was
Next.
like being told off by my father. Was that? Oh, whoa, whoa.
Different today, be comfort.
I can't remember how it ends actually. There's something else in that card though. I like the fact that note is all the way through it. So it's like. I can drop it there.
So Rye laying his guitar down, you see. Naked as the day he was born.
It came to me like a bolt from. Oh, start again. The perfume goes straight to my car. I'll give it one last look. It was a cross-hatched door, but I'm a messed up baby. I'm the Berlin Wall tonight.
Because it's so distorted, it's lost its clarity. But somehow you pulled it off on that other one.
Remember your voice, I was born out of glass. I returned there at last in a shattered climax.
Close your eyes a minute. Where is it? Hang on, where are we? Hang on, where?
This is called Appeasing a Child.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Sounds like some guitar sounds for a barted. Well, we tried the Champ, which usually sounds really good, but it sounds too small, you know. And we're using one of mine through there, we're using the orange through there, which I use live all the time. And I'm just gonna try the deluxe. Johnny used one of them throughout the Smiths, so that, you know, must be a pretty good amp.
Really good. We shouldn't touch that. No. That was like perfect. Yeah. That's a rare thing. You just go, yeah, that's the sound for that one.
See, that's why we do it in Wakey's.
That's it. That was a rare thing.
Do some feedback leading into the chorus, please.
I like all that. It would be an interesting situation if it was just a band, regardless of being brothers, with a new member that comes in. Then add to that the member that's come in is a famous person. And a very recognisable person, a very recognisable musician.
It's been different having Johnny because it kind of helps bring out a different side. I've definitely feel like I've worked a lot harder on this record. I made sure that my riffs are as good as possible and push myself more. And just started to think myself more as a guitarist than anything else. You know what I mean? Because I don't see myself as a singer or anything.
I mean, the way that Ryan's guitar parts and Johnny's guitar parts work together is unbelievable.
Just you know, throwing things up in the air again and trying something a bit different, you know, like it's been, because it's been the three of us for quite a while now. So having another member in the band's been, you know, really fresh and new for us.
But the songs have still got the same kind of thing about them. They're just better, you know, and there's just more atmosphere as well. We've kind of like thought about stuff like that. Rather than like making a lo-fi record, or rather than trying to make like a record, you know, anything else, like we've just kind of put a lot more like, you know, atmosphere and stuff like that into it, I think. Through like different layers of guitars and like, you know, some of Johnny's effects and stuff.
It's a fascinating process. I mean, it's different, and it's different with every band because there's a dynamic between the members of every band that dictates how the track evolves.
Well, for a start, because they're brothers, really. I mean, you can't really get around it without getting too sort of psychoanalytical about it. There's not a lot of hidden agendas or hidden sort of insecurities or anything like that.
On behalf of your services to the Cribs, we just want to give you the best brother, the Oscar for best brother.
Oh, man. You never know what to say at times like this. This one's for you, Mum. Hollywood sucks! He's right.
The band never really was run as a democracy. It was, because everyone could do exactly what they wanted, but everyone was so on the same wavelength that it was really easy to write the songs, and we wouldn't like kind of pick over it or critique the songs. You know, they were very spontaneous and just came out straight away. It was like, now with Johnny, we'll be like, yeah, but what if we do this, what if we do that? Not to the point where it's detrimental to the spontaneity of the song or anything, but like, you know, we definitely kind of consider things a little more, which has been a positive thing.
It's sort of I feel like it's sometimes my job to sort of make sure that everybody's communicating well, you know, and saying what's on their mind.
5 personalities, like just, you know, all with opinions, and Johnny's got some strong opinions on like how the production should be, as do you know, me, Ryan, Ross, and then there's Nick too. So it's good because there's always a lot of ideas floating around.
By the time we've all these 4 opinionated guys have kind of decided on a format for a song, we pretty much think that it's unchangeable because we've looked at it from every side. And I'm really pleased to say that Nick made good changes, improvements on 3/4 of them.
You sort of hear all the parts and they work together really well. But then when they come through microphones and you've got all the sounds together, you hear more detail and suddenly, oh God, this doesn't work or that doesn't work. So it's always a really exciting moment.
There's elements of the original demos that we recorded that I really love, so we've kept them and like, you know, strive to keep them like that. Even like, you know, taken bits of audio from the original tapes and like mixed them in and stuff, you know, just like little tiny little vocal bits, just so, because, you know, sometimes we'll record something on a demo or on a live recording or on a 4-track that you can never recreate in the studio, so we've tried to keep elements of that.
I could be someone else if you'd rather try to win you or
That's not right.
that's another cheat on me. Cheat on me. That's another cheat on me. Cheat on me.
Someone has to do it. I don't know if it's you or Johnny goes, cheat on me, yeah, like that.
So you wanna
good sound.
Good sound. Okay.
On the quest to find the perfect triangle. Something that Joe Public just will never notice in the record anyway. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. Do we think this is the right one? Are we sure? That sounds quite good actually. It's gonna sound like a frog. That is now the winner.
Cool. I'm just gonna listen vocals down.
Not the hero's welcome, I was thinking.
Perfect. I have to admit, that's the perfect triangle.
Strapping up the wrist because it just stops it moving. Like, because there's certain areas like if I move it into it, it's really bad.
Ross breaking his wrist like literally straight away is by far the most memorable. I mean, that's what I remember about this session most, just being really stressed out.
Ross breaking his wrist, it was that week sucked.
It's weird because we're out in the suburbs here, and like, you know, we went skating to get this basketball, and it seemed like such a like a ludicrously kind of like cheesy Americana kind of thing to do.
Ever since I've been young, I've always been really bad at it, and I haven't skateboarded for years or anything like that. But there were a couple in the driveway, so I thought, I'll give it a go, you know.
Everything was fine on the way there, and we had a good time. It was kind of fun, but then on the way back, Ross went down a hill.
That hill looks pretty fun, you know. I'll have a go on that hill. So I had to go on the hill.
I just thought he was just outside the house there, just tootling around. But he'd actually gone down a hill, really steep hill, standing on a skateboard. And now I'm thinking, what are you thinking? You know, you're going to fall.
And I could feel the skateboard getting faster and faster and faster. And then I'm thinking, right, I'm going to save myself here and I'm going to jump off because, you know, I'm going too fast. And I'm also coming up to a stop sign, which could have ended up being in, you know, serious problems. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to jump off. So I did. And as I jumped off to the left, like I was just going too fast and my leg got dragged back, and then I had to break the fall with my hand.
First of all, he was just worried that he'd done his leg in, so he was like hobbling home, like in a bit of a bad mood. And then I was just waiting to ask her, like, man, you know, like how's your wrist? 'Cause you could see it getting swollen up.
Then before I knew it, my wrist had swelled up like twice the size of it usually is, and I couldn't bend it properly. And
I just thought, well, the record's off.
We found out he's got a broken wrist, and we've only recorded one song. So what we're gonna do, like, and after every single song we were doing, we were like, oh man, is he like doing permanent damage to it, or is he like, you know, is he even gonna be able to do the next song, basically?
I decided then that before I went and went back to the hospital, I thought, well, I might as well finish the record because, you know, I can do it physically, you know. So
Ross was really good. He drummed through the pain, and then he didn't go to they tried to get him in the hospital on the Thursday, and he didn't go because he hadn't finished his drum parts, and he knew if they splintered his wrist, he wouldn't be able to finish it.
I think aside from international arm wrestling, playing the drums is probably the second worst thing to be doing when you've done your arming like that.
it really wasn't good, but yeah, I soldiered on.
I have to say, Ross, you would never have known. He just drummed like there was nothing wrong with his wrist. And a couple of moments it was like, you know, you sure you can play? And he was like, yep, I want to do another take. And he's, you know, a very brave man.
The first time I met my mate was in a building that houses the things I hate, but she seemed to feel the things I feel. She is the object of my affections. I never thought that you can. I can't believe you're still living there, but you'll always be the last who sees you while a victim of mass production. Well, I've seen it all before, but that's not for me to say. We'll live, we'll die, we'll never say goodbye, 'cause we're not supposed to be here, not supposed to be here, not supposed to be here anyway.
Maybe just at the very end of the first verse.
All right, well, we'll do that then. We'll do it on the last... Is it on the last line of every verse, that lyric? Right.
Victim of mass production. weapons of mass destruction. I never thought that you'd care. It's sad to see you still living there, but you'll always be the last who sees you are a victim of mass production.
Do you know, I ticked it off prematurely.
Oh,
I'm like that. I opened my advent calendars early and I ticked my boxes early.
I have to say, I really, really like their vocals. I like the fact that there's the twins who both sing. There's something very interesting to me about that, and the fact that their vocal styles are so completely different.
Never too late to admit to me that you're worried, yeah.
But it's this attitude that he has when he's singing. There's something very appealing to it. I don't know. I really like his vocal delivery. It's always like he's telling a story to you, you know.
But I'm a messed up baby. I'm the Berlin Wall tonight.
And then Gary's vocal is quite different. He's just got this incredible sounding voice where he can sing and shout at the same time, and yet it sounds really melodic.
Cheat on me, cheat on me.
Gary's voice is really great, you know, and it's so different. It's kind of odd that it's just such a different approach to Ryan's.
There's a few bits and pieces of lyrics still to be written, but that's just because I feel like I'm just like reviewing bits that I've written, because there's some lines that I really love and then I don't want to put lines that I just think are okay in there.
I think it's good to have a little bit of, a little bit of finishing off to do, because, that can be exciting in the studio.
We had enough material to know that we were going to make the kind of record that we needed to make, but at the same time, we left a little bit of the unknown factor lyrically.
But are all lyrics done from nothing?
It's good as.
Oh, well, I mean, I only need a couple of lines for a bar, so we can bring either of them up.
Let's bring nothing up.
Let's do it.
Okay, and I'll drink some
He's
tea,
rising to the challenge.
Yeah, well,
It's an
that's what you
exciting
gotta do.
moment.
Yeah, I'm just tying up a few loose ends with words right now. I just didn't want to rush them, and like being in the studio is really conducive to like just thinking about nothing else and other than the songs. So there's like a couple of verses I need to finish, but I'm not perturbed by that whatsoever. I kind of always work like that.
Some people say that, oh, I work very well to a deadline. That's really them just kind of being avoiding work, because it's not easy writing lyrics. But in Gary and Ryan's case, they do know themselves pretty well, and essentially they are producers. I mean, they both not only have all three of them. Not only have they got very involved in a very DIY way in their own records in the past, but as kids they ran a studio and they really know about gear and they know about the process. They do. So we all know about that. So I kind of trusted them, on that one.
So here's one for all of the cynics then. Hate me for what I've done and not for my idiot children. I want to think you won't remember me like last year's snow.
So here's one for all the cynics then. Hate me for what I've done, not for my idiot children. I want to think you Remember me like last year's snow.
This song "Cheat on Me" that we're working on today, everyone's kind of got that earmarked as a single. It's been going down really well live, and like we're excited about it. And a song called "Harry Carry," which is what Rye's playing on in there right now. I think that's could be a single. The song called "Remember Me Like Last Year's Snow."
There's a bunch of other really strong kind of single kind of tracks. Then there's all the more artistically satisfying album tracks. That's not, I mean, a lot of people say album tracks meaning filler, but it's certainly nothing like that. It's just stuff that we're just a lot more proud of, but would not tarnish it with making it a single, basically. Because you always end up resenting the singles.
I'd be a liar if I said I didn't put a lot of importance on singles, but I like to make albums. I really enjoy the whole thing of having a collection of songs, and I really enjoy putting the running order together and making the songs flow. And I certainly don't go in going, okay, those 3 songs are the singles, we're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort on those, and the others are just the other songs that fill the album, that make it so that it justifies being an album. I'm not like that. I tend to sort of put an equal effort into everything.
As of the moment, the record's untitled, you know. There's a few of the songs haven't got titles yet either, which, you know, that's just like finishing off stuff, you know. It's kind of, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of an exciting time, you know, naming.
We don't have a title for the album yet. We've got loads of great song titles and stuff, but we don't have any album titles yet. I'm sure it'll present itself before too long.
This bit from now until the record's released is my favourite bit of being in a band, really. It's when you've made a record and you're really liking it, and I listen to it a lot then. You feel like you've got a really good secret, and you hopefully feel like you're going to do something that are going to take the fans, give the fans like a year or 2 of surprises. You know, you're creating that work that people are going to live with for, you know, on whatever scale, big or small. That's for me is the exciting bit. And as soon as it's out, I'm done with it then. It's all about playing it live then. I never listen to records I've made once they've come out.
In these passionate places, there's a piece of me